What's going on, guys? Matt Everett here with Lethal Camaro, and today I want to talk about E85 versus pump gas 91. Now, you may realize I'm not in my Camaro right now. Really good reason for that. It's gonna pour rain today, and I have to drive pretty far today. That being stated, I don't want to get stuck with my R888s in a heavy rainstorm. They're just not meant for water. So I would have driven my car if it wasn't gonna rain as bad as they say it's going to, but we're expecting a torrential downpour today. So that aside, now E85 versus pump gas 91. Now, I have recorded this video before, but unfortunately I used my GoPro Hero 5 and its beautiful technology of sensing sound decided to focus in on the exhaust of my car. Maybe that's not such a bad thing, but you couldn't hear one damn word I was saying in the whole video. So I'm reshooting this on my drive today, and hopefully the information is still relevant for you guys regardless. So that being said, E85 versus pump gas 91. Now, as many of you guys know, I've now cammed my car. I've added just about all the bolt-ons you can get, tuned it, and in preparation of my Pro Charger that's going on March 20th. And on top of that, I put the flex fuel kit on the car. Now, there's a few things to keep in mind. The flex fuel kit's gonna have to come off the car when I get the Pro Charger until I upgrade the fuel system. It's just not gonna be able to handle the amount of power the car is gonna put down with the stock fuel system. And I don't wanna do the LT4 system because I'm going for more power than what that system handles. So yeah, I'm waiting on a custom system that Cunningham Motorsports is working with another company that makes top shelf grade quality product, and they're literally designing it still, so I have to wait a little while. So, but what I'm going to be talking about in this video is E85 and pump gas 91 on my cammed car. Now, a lot of people are always interested, like, if I just take my stock car and put it on E85, yeah, you'll see some power gains, about 26 to 27 horsepower, depending on the tune, depending who you work with. I mean, it could be up to 30 horsepower to the wheel increase, which is quite a bit. But keep in mind, I found out very quickly that driving around the city, one, with a cam, and then two, with E85, my gas mileage is just in the gutter. Like, I was seeing 6 miles per gallon cruising around the city, when before I was getting a good 18 to 14, depending on how I was driving. Like, if I was hot rodding around everywhere I was going, it would be, you know, between those numbers. On a good day, 19. Wasn't too bad. But the other side of E85 is the decrease, and it's not just E85 here, it's also with the cam, but it's the decrease of gas mileage on the highway. And I think no matter what, you're gonna see this span, doesn't really matter the cam or not, but you're gonna see between 30 and 38% more gas usage. So imagine your mileage you got on a full tank of gas. You are gonna cut that down by, let's just say, 40%. That is a dramatic change. And that is just my experience. Now, I didn't just, oh, here's one tank of gas and drive around and do a review on it. I've burnt through 6 full tanks of E85 before I wanted to speak to it, because not every week is the same kind of driving week, you know, and I wanted to be able to speak to what I was experiencing, what I was seeing, and how the car reacted and responded. So, but let's get further into that right now. So again, around city, I was getting around 6 miles per gallon in heavy traffic. On open roads, later in the evening, I saw 11 to 12 miles a gallon, which was not too terrible. But I would say on average, I saw between 7 and 8 miles a gallon, which is not good city driving. But again, cammed, E85 burning 40% more. You got to keep that calculation in mind. So going to the highway side of things, I was expecting the car cruising at about 70 miles an hour to do a lot better than what it actually did. But regardless, the 40%, it still did pretty good. The best I saw was 22 miles a gallon. The average that I saw was probably around 18 to 20 miles a gallon, which that's not bad. I mean, it's a V8 car pushing around 500 horsepower to the wheels. I don't think that's bad. Now, some of you guys out there who may be conscious on gas or maybe don't have an E85 pump that close, you know, you might want to reconsider your thought process on this. As far as performance, wow, like the difference between pump gas and E85 on the cammed car, keep in mind I did, what, 6 tanks of E85 and I did 7 tanks of pump gas 91. Actually probably more of 91. But the power difference just in fueling is significant. Feeling the torque, I mean, it's about an additional 23, 24 pounds torque. You could feel it. To me, it's worth it. It's one of the most worthwhile upgrades you could do to your car if you don't care about your warranty. Because keep in mind, when you do E85, you have to get the flex sensor and you have to tune your vehicle. Now, tuning your car technically voids your drivetrain warranty. Now, GM has to prove that whatever you did broke your vehicle, but do know tuning your vehicle technically voids the warranty of the vehicle, or at least of the drivetrain per se. So that all being said, E85 is pretty good. Now the downsides I've kind of touched on a little bit. You burn a lot more fuel. One, you are restricted to where you can get gas, obviously. You know, not every place has E85 available. So you need to make sure that you are strategic in getting gas and making sure you have enough gas when you need it, etc., etc. Now, the other downsides, and I don't know if it's, well, a positive is when you're burning E85, the tips of your exhaust, if you clean them before you fill up, they will stay clean the entire time. Yeah, they'll get some road grime and stuff kicked up on them because, you know, our cars kick up dirt and stuff when we're tromping around, but they will stay clean. So that's a benefit. It smells better. E85 definitely smells cleaner. It's like a fresher, sweet smell. I'd say that's a positive over regular pump gas. But outside of that, it burns more, you get less mileage, you get more power, you get clean exhaust tips, and it's cheaper. So that's all one of the other things. So the price versus burn ratio kind of evens out. So some people are like, well, why would I get gas that burns 40% faster? Well, it's usually about $1 or so cheaper than the regular gas that we normally use. So, you know, keep that in mind as well. But as far as Pump Gas 91, you know, and I'm gonna actually talk on a little bit more performance stuff here in a minute with E85, but I wanna get to the 91 stuff. So on Pump Gas 91, the car runs great. The one benefit of it is the car still gets the backfire sound. You can hear the cam a lot more on regular pump gas than you can with E85. 85 almost masks the cam sound. But Pump Gas 91, it's not as cheap. You get your best gas mileage. So around the city average, I was getting 12 miles a gallon, and I was up to about 15 on the high side with regular pump gas, so that's not too terrible. And then for the highway, I was seeing 26 to 25 miles a gallon, like on the high side, and 24, 25 average. So I think actually, I think I saw 28 was the highest I saw. Apologies, mouth, talking too much. Yes, I'm drinking a soda because I'm super tired. I was up super late last night packaging up Lethal t-shirts for the first time, and I'm tired. I need a little sugar in my body. But the Pump Gas 91, again, you know, you're paying the higher price for it, but it is readily available. You get better gas mileage. You're not getting hit nearly as bad. The smell is pretty bad in burning. Now keep in mind, I have long tube headers with no cats, so when I'm talking about smell with either the E85 or 91, I'm speaking in that regards, a catless setup. I'm pretty sure that the smell wouldn't be nearly as bad with catalytic converters in place, but I don't have them, so I'm speaking to that experience right now. But 91, you could definitely feel the car doesn't have as much power. It's missing a lot of low-end torque that the E85 brought to the vehicle, so that is something you want to keep in mind. Now, the easy part with a flex fuel setup is you can choose to go between either or at any given time. You can mix it as well. So a lot of people are wondering, like, can I mix, like if I have a half tank of E85 and I need to fill up, can I put 91 in if I know I'm not going to have a E85 station nearby? Yes, you can. You can do that. So the biggest thing is you just need to make sure your car has ample time to get used to and read the ethanol content that is burning in your vehicle, so you can drive it without doing harm to your motor. So typically what I'll do is once I fill up, no matter what I do, I will fill up and I'll sit for 10 minutes. Now, the nice thing about not having cats is you can distinctively smell the vehicle when it switches over to the gas that it's using. So if you're doing a blend or a mix of 91 E85, it might be a little more difficult. I'd say let your car idle, just sit and run for 15 minutes instead of 10. I know that's a long time, but it's just do it, because your motor is more expensive than anything that you want to ever replace, trust me. So, but I just let it idle. If I'm on 91, I will smell when the 91's coming through, and you smell the rest of the E85 burning out, or vice versa. You could start smelling that sweet smell of that burnt corn oil or fuel, and you just know that the car's burning that fuel instead of the 91, and therefore the ECU is probably adjusted and regulated for that new setup. Now, one thing that I am doing for my car with the Pro Charger for when I have my fuel system is I am putting a gauge, and I'll have the gauge installed before I get the Pro Charger, but the idea there is I could see the air-fuel ratios, and I could see the ethanol level hooked up and what it's reading at any given time. So that will allow me to see the change a lot more quickly versus having to wait and smell, you know, or just wait time and not care about the smell. So it's up to you on what you would want to do in that instance, but there are things you could do to do that. So I did get a gauge with a wideband sensor so I can get proper air-fuel ratio and the ethanol content level, so I know exactly what the ECU is reading at any given time. Now, some people may ask, well, what's really the point of the gauge and all that greatness? Like, why does it matter ethanol level if the car's tuned for it? Not all ethanol is equal. It's all different octane levels. It will range from 50 all the way up to 83%. Now, if you get a batch of 50 rated ethanol and your car is tuned at like a 78, which is basically where mine's at, I believe it's like 76 to 78 range, you could potentially damage your motor. So having that gauge to tell me when I have crappy ethanol in the car tells me I shouldn't be gunning the car, racing people, doing 0 to 60 runs and all that stuff. You just want to be careful. And there's lots of ways you can do that, such as the gauge. There's a little water test system that you can get where you could literally put some of the ethanol in there with water and get the gauge exactly what the content is on alcohol ratio, so that way you know exactly what kind of ethanol quality content you're putting in your car. But it just depends on what you feel safe with. If you feel safe doing the little test, it's super easy. You could do that, and it's not very expensive. Or you can go the route of a gauge and spend $300, $400, $500 and get a proper wideband sensor, get the gauge, and have it all set up. So it just depends on how much money you want to spend and what it means to you. So for me, I don't want to risk my motor. I want to take all the precautions I can, and therefore I'm getting a proper gauge. Now, I totally deviated versus the 8591 because I'm going on a tangent here, but overall, I would say I'm very happy with the flex fuel setup. The power's there. You can really feel it when you put the E85 with proper octane levels. So like 70 plus, you could really feel the power. That being stated, 91 is not a bad way to go regardless. And again, I keep saying 91 because I'm here in California and we have terrible gas. And that's also one of the other reasons why I went E85, is for the pure fact that I'm tired of having crappy gas. Like 91 pump gas is terrible. Everyone else in the country has 93 minimum. So it's like, what the hell? Either or. So those are my thoughts. Hopefully this video was somewhat informational for you guys. I know it's a long one. Apologies for that. And I think I ummed a lot. Keep in mind, I do all these videos. I have no script. I'm just going by what I'm thinking about. But performance-wise, I love the way the car handles and drives with E85. I love the way it smells. That may be weird, but I just love the smell of burnt E85. It smells sweet. It smells good. It's nice. And anybody else pulling up next to you knows you're not driving a stock car. I get so many compliments or pull-up people where they'll pull up and be like, "That car does not smell stock. What you got under that hood?" Like, I get so many comments like that. It's hilarious. I've had people follow me and park next to me wherever I was going and then talk to me about my car. It's been an awesome experience regardless. It's just cool. I love talking about cars. I'm a true car enthusiast in my eyes, whether you believe it or not. And I love hearing what other people are doing to their cars, love seeing it, and just like sharing the passion, you know? So, and with that, you guys have really followed this journey, and I appreciate it. And a lot of you guys have been supporting the channel more so than just views by buying the Lethal Camaro shirts, which I'm sporting here. and also decals. I appreciate I appreciate that wholeheartedly, guys. The decal sales, again, all those proceeds go to my son. He does have a blood disorder. If you want to learn more about that, go to lethalgarage.com. But thank you. So if you guys enjoyed this content, hit that subscribe button, support the channel. If not, you know, likes, comments, shares are always appreciated. Again, I'm just a big Camaro enthusiast trying to share his experiences and content with you guys. Feedback is always great. I know a lot of people out there just want to see the car. Unfortunately, there was no car in this video whatsoever. So, yeah. So hopefully this answered your questions on E85 91. If not, post comments below. As you guys know, I try to respond to every single question that's asked. That's one thing I pride myself on, is I want to be helpful, and I'm here for you guys. So ask away. But yeah, so until next time and next video, I hope to see you on the road.